I just saw a post that said, if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside. And I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, let's take my bald head, for example. People that have hair don't feel cold outside, especially this time of year, like I do. I mean, I could feel a draft in a room. You'd be surprised at how not having hair on your head makes such a difference. Well, they've got all that hair, it's not for our hair, all over their body. And the warmth that that brings is incredible. Not to mention, their skin is thick, thick, thick. Really thick. The epidermis, gotta be thick. Now, how do I know? Have I gone and measured their epidermis? No. But, I've sat outside camping one night. This was early on, my son and I, sitting out by the fire. And all of a sudden we start hearing this swoosh. It just sounds something like that. It sounded like someone taking a pine tree, light branch, and hitting it against the tree and hitting it just repeatedly. And my son and I were looking at each other, and he goes, "Dad," this is a long time ago when he was a little guy. He goes, "Daddy, what is that?" And I sat there and I listened and I listened. Now we were in a field, big field, where you had deer. And then right next to us, there was this just thick crap. I mean, taller than me, of these just razor sharp, just stickers that these bushes and stuff that were just wicked stickers, basically. Just rip you apart if you went through that stuff. Well, that's what we heard. We heard one of those big guys was taking one giant step at a time, and as he pulled through, you'd hear that whoosh, him going through all that crap, those sharp, stickers, barefoot, mind you. Okay, I don't know how that works, but anyway, well, I'm assuming barefoot. I don't think he was wearing Nikes, but anyway, just literally one step at a time. After I finally figured this out, it just whoosh, whoosh, as he was making his way through it. And so, you talk about bring them inside. It's cold. They got all that hair and that thick skin, I'm sure, protects them from the elements, from that stuff that he was walking through. And that night, boy, let me tell you, we had some serious stuff going on with loud yells projected at the tent where we were staying. Later, kind of early in that morning, I heard one of them chasing a deer who ran towards our tent. It was so funny. From way over there, we're laying here, and I'm sitting just awake because all the crap that had happened that night. And I've got my kids, so I was a little freak, so I didn't sleep very well. But I heard him chasing that deer, came towards us, and you could hear him running, big giant stomps, and then he stops when that deer comes towards us, and you hear, just a frustrated, like, shit, why these guys have to camp? They're kind of and then my son heard that. I didn't realize he was awake. He goes, "Daddy, did you hear that?" And I said, "That's just a bear." And he goes, "That didn't sound like a bear, Dad." It was a crazy, crazy night. I mean, and this is before I was really used to them and I knew them. And I, just loud ass screams at night with coyotes following that, scream, just a lot of stuff. I don't think they wanted us camping in their hunting ground. So they did everything they could to scare the hell out of us. Other times where I could say that, their skin and their hair protect them from the elements. There was a night when I was in Alabama. It was frigging cold outside. I mean, it was 20 or below. It was so cold. And I was actually up there for some event, I guess. I can't even remember. It's been so long. And I was camping by the, I went up there, and there was another girl from Atlanta that needed a ride. So I said, I'll give you a ride. So I went up, and it was a night. I wanted to go up a night before, because when people get there, it just gets to be so loud and nothing happens really. But I wanted to go up there because I thought it'd be, nice. It's a pretty area. So anyway, we went up there the night before. Ton of activity. Had them throwing giant ass rocks into the creek next to us and stuff, trying to get our attention when we were just out by the fire. Well, we went to sleep. She went in her tent, I went in my tent. And I kept hearing those rocks, and then I heard one, and it's cold as crap. And it's a pretty deep creek that we were by. I heard one of them get in that creek, and you could hear him swimming. And then getting out of the water, you could hear it, just start dripping down into the creek water. And I guess this girl got out of her tent. I didn't get out of my tent, not because I was scared or anything. I was freezing. I mean, it was so cold. And but she got out of her sleeping bag in her tent and apparently went outside and saw the guy, the big boy, right there by the creek, and dripping and everything. So that should tell you something. I mean, they have a mind thing for sure going on. I don't know what the capabilities are with that and the cold, but certainly the hair. And, just like animals that swim in the water, the hair or the fur or whatever protects them from the cold. And in their case, they're thick skin. So anyway, and I've even heard them walking on my deck. You hear that it sounds almost like a shoe going up my deck and walking on the deck. They build up such thick skin, I guess, on their feet. Has to be from just being around outside all the time. I guess you develop really thick calluses. Anyway, that's my input. You guys take care. Have a good day. Drink my coffee. Good weekend, I mean.